So apparently you can learn how to sing without having any talent for free. Who knew? If you're new here, hi, I'm Courtney. I've been learning to sing to prove that it's possible with the goal of releasing an album and having a music career. I've been so delulu for my whole entire life that I just thought I was gonna be the next Hannah Montana, and unfortunately for everyone, I still think that. The caveat is that I have like zero natural talent. However, I recently learned that you don't actually need talent to have a music career. And I don't mean just like people putting crazy effects over your vocals. I mean like you can sing without being born knowing how to sing. I don't know why we know that like if you learn how to play an instrument like piano, you have to learn that, right? But like singing, you're born with it. If you're not born with it, you're screwed. Lizzo has actually talked a lot about this, and I don't know if you've ever seen that clip of Ed Sheeran sharing his voice memos when he first started singing, but homie was not a singer, but he's great now. But even with those examples, I feel like we as a society still don't feel like it's possible for us to learn how to sing. Or we think there's this gap where we feel like we need a lot of money or a lot of access to things to learn how to sing the same way that these guys did. And I'm here to tell you, nope, that is not the case. You can do it for absolutely free. And that's what we're gonna do today. Now I know everyone says this, but make sure to stay to the end of the video because I have a little surprise for you. And you're not gonna get it if you don't watch the whole video, so just watch. You got me, I got you. The first thing about learning to sing, and I feel like is arguably the most important thing about learning how to sing, is changing your beliefs around singing. I don't know about you, but I've always loved singing, but I would feel really embarrassed singing in front of people because I didn't want to bother someone, or I didn't want someone to tell me that I was bad, or I didn't want someone to tell me to be quiet. But all of us can sing, and I'm not talking about sounding good because that's subjective, right? But like, I'm just talking about if we feel like singing, we should be allowed to sing. Like, why do we feel so self-conscious expressing ourselves in that way? It's just another form of expression, and whether or not you're doing it professionally, that shouldn't matter. I'm a terrible painter, but I will go to a paint and sip any day of the week because it's fun for me. If you love singing, you should just allow yourself to sing. And a byproduct of that is actually opening up things to actually sound better because you have more confidence. And honestly, like, I feel like 80% of singing is confidence, in my non-professional opinion. So sing if you want to sing. But if we're talking about creating a career out of it or just developing a voice that sounds pleasing to other people, we have to talk about step 2. Step 2 in the singing journey is developing your ear. A lot of times we throw around the word tone deaf, and most people actually aren't tone deaf. In fact, it's really rare to be tone deaf. If you can sense a difference in inflection when you're speaking or hear different notes in music, then you're not tone deaf. Developing your ear is all about training your brain to recognize the difference between different pitches. A great way to start doing this is by playing different notes on a keyboard and kind of recognizing the difference or the distance between each of these things. If you don't have a physical keyboard or piano, that's fine. You can download a keyboard app that does the same exact thing for you for free. I'm not even talking about learning what the different notes are just yet. I'm just talking about hearing the difference between notes. Are these 2 notes next to each other? Are they 2 notes away from each other? Are they 3 notes away from each other? Are they in completely different octaves? What is an octave? So learning all of those things and just like exploring different pitches on the keyboard is a great way to begin developing your ear. You might want to start replicating them now, but we're not singing yet. For that, we need step 3, which is understanding vocal technique. Now guys, I am no expert in vocal technique. I'm literally a student myself. I'm still learning how to sing. Clearly, but I will say it's very important to know what the different types of vocal techniques are and what vocabulary within the music community means. It's kind of like when you start learning how to dance in ballet, you should probably learn what a tendu is, a pas de bourrée is. When you're learning how to sing, you just need to understand the language around the music so that you can learn how to sing. For us singers, a lot of the technique that needs to be developed is pitch accuracy, tone, breath control, and breath support, and posture. I know those terms might be overwhelming at first, especially if you've never heard them before, but there's a lot of online resources that are free How many times can I say free in one video? There's a lot of online resources that are free that can help you understand them quickly and easily. After learning all of those terms and what they mean and kind of understanding the foundation of all of those techniques, it's time to sing. The bread and butter of learning how to sing is taking action, okay? After you learn what all of those things mean, after you begin to develop your ear and all of that stuff, you gotta do it. You gotta practice. There's no way around that. Things like vocal scales, exercises, and warm-ups are a great way to strengthen your voice and get it to where you want to go. And of course, the best way of learning how to sing is singing songs. So start singing songs, okay? One of my favorite ways to learn a song is to focus on one song for a week or two and not only listen to the artist that performs that song, but also listen to covers that other people have made. Listening to covers and listening to other artists' take on that same song helps me uncover different things within my voice. It helps me uncover things that are possible within singing that I didn't even think of, and it helps me explore more of my artistry as an artist. Listening to other people sing the same song just helps open your creative mind up to interpreting music different ways, and I feel like helps you build your artistry a lot faster than just replicating the same thing over and over again. However, no matter what, it's important to pay attention to that foundation that we set to make sure that we're practicing correctly, because again, we want to make sure our voice is supported. We want to make sure that we're not damaging our voice, so make sure you're warming up before you're doing any of these sessions, and make sure that you're paying attention to your vocal technique, your breath support, all of that stuff. And lastly, don't be afraid to record yourself. Okay, I know it's scary. I know you're like, that's kind of cringe. I don't want to listen to myself sing. I don't sound good. But like, how are you gonna get better if you don't know how you sound? And here's the thing, you don't know how you sound if you're not recording yourself, because we don't hear our voices the same way that other people hear our voices. Have you ever like seen yourself talk on video and you're like, that's because the sound not only travels through the air when it gets to our ears, but it also travels through the jaw. So then the sound is kind of distorted and we don't hear the same thing that other people hear. Like, I feel like my voice is way lower than it sounds on video. Sorry to everyone. But yeah, don't be afraid to record yourself, and not only that, don't be afraid to share that recording with other people. And I don't necessarily mean like going as far as I did and posting everything on TikTok or YouTube for public scrutiny, but I mean just like joining a supportive community or showing it to people who you trust and love and who you know are not going to be mean towards you. One of my favorite and one of the most beneficial things that I've done since starting my singing journey is joining a Facebook group where I can post the videos of me singing and get constructive feedback. I don't feel like people realize how vulnerable singing can be, especially if it's something that you love to do but you feel like you can't do. It's like actually really vulnerable. And so being in a safe space, being in a safe community where you can just share your progress, share what's going on, get feedback, and also help other people grow is a great way to learn more about music and to learn more about your voice in the process. Not to mention, not gonna lie, it's really cool when you look back at a video from like a year ago and you see how much you've improved. Because like day to day, we don't realize the shift that's happening, but like months, years apart, there's a difference. Don't be afraid to record yourself. All of that being said, I do want to say if you have the resources to hire a vocal coach, that is going to be the most beneficial way for you to improve. It's going to be the fastest way that you can improve. It does cost money, but it is so worth it. When I started my vocal journey, I had $0 to invest in classes, but I still wanted to learn. So I had to start with what I'm sharing with you today, which is still extremely valuable. But having a one-on-one vocal coach just helps you develop that foundation like no other, and it definitely prevents you from developing any bad habits that you're gonna have to break in the future. So if you can do it, do it. Like I said at the beginning, I am no expert, okay? I still have a long way to go with my voice and with my mentality and beliefs around singing. But I do want to say the biggest thing that I've learned on this journey is just like, no one's gonna do it except for you. Like, I can sit here and tell you all day that it's possible for you. If you have a vocal coach, they can tell you that it's possible for you. You can watch all the videos in the world showing you how to begin practicing. But if you don't do it, and if you don't believe that you can do it, then it's not gonna happen. I feel like there's this gap where like, we are really good at cheering on other people and we're like, yeah, you can do anything that you set your mind to, but then we separate ourselves and we're like, oh, like, that's not possible for us though, because we don't have these circumstances, or we weren't born with this, or we don't have yada, yada, yada. But none of that is true. That's all limiting beliefs, okay? And I should know because I'm still struggling with them. If you want to do something, you can do it, but you have to believe that you can do it, because you're not going to take action unless you like actually truly believe that. Because why take action on something that's not gonna happen, right? So you kind of have to like trick your brain into believing that this crazy thing that you've always wanted to do but have no evidence is possible for you is actually possible. Now, as promised, our surprise. Now, when I started, like I said, I couldn't afford lessons and there were a ton of resources on the internet, but they were all scattered around and I didn't know which ones to trust, which ones were actually going to help me. After working with vocal coaches and working on paid programs as well as working on all the free stuff, I've compiled a YouTube playlist of free resources to help you hit all of the points that we talked today to get you started on your vocal journey. I've taken out the guesswork for you. There's absolutely no investment. Like I said, all YouTube videos by amazing souls here on the internet who are professionals who have put this online to help people. So run to that playlist, use it, and get started on your vocal journey, because babe, you can do it. Okay, you just have to believe that you can do it. I believe that you can do it. Do you believe that you can do it? It's a pretty good reward for staying to the end, right? All right, babes, I'm not gonna keep you from your vocal practice any longer. It's time for you to go do that. But first, make sure you subscribe to this channel because I need money for vocal lessons. I'm kidding, subscribe because we're friends now and I wanna hang out some more, so. Okay, bye.